Yahweh, God and Creator, we surrender and submit ourselves unto you as we call first upon your holy name. Yeshua, we offer thanksgiving to know that you established a hedge of protection around this time, that we would seek and know your presence within every breath, thought, word, and action. And we draw upon the life-giving breath that is Abun, residing within us, manifesting your glory, that we might surrender to recognize your presence before us, within us, and around us. We breathe deep. And with each intake of breath, we now submit and exhale entirely. What happens is many times people do not clear their body of the breath they receive, and they hold residual and memory of the past. We exhale entirely now, and we breathe deep. As we rise to the peak of this breath, we exhale entirely once again. As you exhale completely, you will find you don't need to work for the breath. Your body will just draw the breath within it. The process of breathing is a process of surrender, not of labor. We breathe again. Allow yourself to trust in the complete and total release and exhale of all breath within your body. You need not retain any, for it all returns unto you as God's presence rises within you. You breathe deep. Reaching the peak of this breath, we commit to release all breath within us, to trust and reside upon the one breath that is God's presence. We breathe. Hablandere camiur sesireshnu, bolietere kelimentro cumurojotro. But the holy wisdom of our God and Creator is now birthed within us. And for each person each day, I would ask that we might consider the very thing we share in Grace Healing nearly every day of our walk, the importance of seeking Yahweh first. And I would ask you, please search your heart and honestly ask yourself the question, where does life begin? Life begins in the very Spirit of God. Therefore, if life begins in the very Spirit of God, and you witness life within something other than yourself, God's presence must be permitting that life to function, exist, and have being. We breathe, remembering that the very breath we hold within us is given by grace in this moment by our God and Creator. Be released of all form of burdens, exhaling, trusting, surrendering, receiving. The reason why I ask if we remember where life begins is we must remember that as we witness life within other things apart from ourselves, whether it is our brothers and sisters, or it is the person that names themselves enemy, the person that has wronged us in some way, another person we love dearly that we see heading down a path that isn't so great within their lives, a path of destruction, self-destruction, or the destruction they rest upon others. We still see life present within them. Where does that life begin? It begins from God, and God allows it being. Life within the essence of a tree is a living form and presence. Life within the creatures of the earth manifests a form of life within it. Life begins in Yahweh's presence. Life begins in the very nature of God's breath within. We breathe deep. We choose to receive the remembrance that it is God's breath within us and God's breath that manifests within all living beings. We exhale and surrender completely into God's loving embrace. Yeshua ulevero kombolo kotobri amahalam dahoye miklaviris sipietru kushnikiero bataturi anakundar diism sipietru kovia. Hablanda kalbe efnun utor kalbia rukre bersvisi siret tukumbiur kotarabara kundara bakhamuriyo tutuyeba. As we have relinquished the breath within our bodies, we receive the breath that is God's presence within us to embrace the holy attribute that is compassion, formed of God's Spirit. We breathe deep. We become compassion within our thoughts, words, and actions. How do we look upon the person who names themselves enemy? Can we look through the veil they present as an enemy to see, know, and recognize God's presence within them even though they may be veiled to it? We breathe the very same breath that resides within them. We witness all things of a spiritual nature that rise within them and anything it stirs within ourselves. Hablati rokainu ehone uramo ayure kendere kuliatu de kelie beturi kanburu sir kutarabashna atani be ligatari ne kainu utu rasi siri biandre kumbia. The compassionate awareness become the fullness of the nature of that is your being. Yahweh, love, purity, compassion, grace, peace, understanding. Strength and vitality. And if we remember where life emerges from, we remember that all life that evidences around us is, by its definition, life manifested by the grace of God. If we find ourselves becoming tired, drained, or exhausted by an experience within our lives, it is because we are trying to carry the burden of the experience we are walking through. It is because we have forgotten that the source of life is God within us, not the actions we undertake to accomplish a task. If we are tired or exhausted by the work that we do each day, we have forgotten God's presence within that walk. If we find ourselves exhausted by the needs of others as they present to us their problems and challenges of life, we have proven ourselves to submit to their suffering, not God. We breathe and embrace God in this moment. We choose the life that is God's Spirit within. Remember that all life is evidence that God's presence is near. İlahime kualun tatore kamrut teres spesifiyetra undra khonni bekis spesifiyesh tukture kamru tadra atal wure fushun ni rebekaturi amaru rokotor kamru kutori spesifiatru komrio rokotor vis msiavru undra vekabru terves spesifiatru komria. We are a holy temple, created, formed, and evidenced to be a holy temple. May we be blessed with wisdom and clarity as we treat this body as a temple. And remember that even if another has named themselves enemy and lost sight of the fact that they are a holy temple, we can do nothing to harm that temple. We can only pray for that which rises within them to be released into the fullness of God's grace and embrace this opportunity, knowing that there is nothing that can take our lives from us. It is God's holy presence that gifts life unto us. It is God's holy presence that sustains life. Whether it be in the human form or a return to the spiritual nature, there is nothing that can steal the nature of God's presence within. We breathe, we trust, we receive, we breathe as one. And I would ask in this week to come, please, people, consider releasing before God all things that have been given through you in instruction that teach you of separation or division of life. Speciesism, racism, any aspect, religious, nationality, all these things, please relinquish these things unto God. Form but one allegiance, and that is to God's presence, for that allegiance supersedes all things of blessing. And then you will find a holy allegiance to God first, and that allegiance will transmute to all things you experience within your human walk that are worthy to be embraced. Anything that is worthy to be embraced must align with the nature of that which is God. We breathe, we trust, we receive, we are one. We welcome our beautiful Sister Ina into this process in thanksgiving that God will govern the words upon her tongue to bring deeper blessing and recognition of His holy love and compassion.
Something I just want to add and share just briefly is just the reality of being in this world and not being of it. That's what was coming to my heart, and I just wanted to share that and extend it to each of you that are on the call, that there's so many things that do come at us every day, so we think that they come at us. But it is that very thing of seeking God first. Because in the experiences, even in my life, even in the last couple of days and in the last week, everything hunky-dory, going great, and then you get these terrible calls from family that, where'd this come from? And you know, like I've shared before, when it has to do with family, it just hits your heart. I mean, it's your own flesh and blood, and they just don't get it. And yet, you love them. And the first thing that I'm human. It's just a little bit getting better about it, but there's that resentment that rises, jealousy, anger, hatred. So I have to release that off of them that I've had all my life with particular siblings. And again, it was rising, and I'm just loving them. And there comes a point, no matter what it could be, family, relations, whatever, things at work, co-workers, comments made to you, unexpected things, health issues. We are in the world, and we are not of it. We choose to seek Him first, and I'll tell you, it just turns things around when you can keep that perspective. And centering upon the breath. And even at nighttime, sometimes if you wake in the night and you're just not sleeping very well, and you get up and you're stirred, seeking Him first, the very present. As you seek Him first, He'll guide you to the regions that you need to be in breath for. Or you're rising, seeking Him first, and it's to be in prayer for someone else that has that same problem. Or it may just be to be alone with Him. Or you don't have an answer for such a solution, a problem that has to do with work, family, a situation even on your own that's pondering. I just would like to encourage you with that, is that word, it can't be said enough. It's like over and over, seeking Him first. Her very presence, her wisdom, knowledge, and the love of who He is within you. Deepened in breath, and as so, you receive, as you've released of these things each day. There's things. If you don't, you find yourself, it's on you. As Brother Larry was sharing, it just falls on you. And it stays there and it starts to grow, and you find yourself defending, not walking in the blessings that he does have for us, whatever it might be. We are in the world. We're not of it. We're here not only to love, to extend that love of God, but to recognize those spiritual things that are going on in the world, setting the captives free, getting it off your hands, just letting it go into God, and receiving the fullness of his love and allowing it to fall into place, and releasing those people, releasing family, releasing all the issues that are the demands of the day, receiving the fullness of his love and blessings. So I just encourage you once again of seeking him first in the breath and all that you do. And we are in the world, but we are not of it. So thank you, Yahweh, even now as we come to the end of this time, and that it just speaks to each and every one of your children. May it move them even to a greater place of who you are within them, bringing even greater confirmation and alignment and order and balance in you. For we love you, we praise you, we worship you. We're so in awe of you that we magnify you above all things. All the things that are going on in our lives, we choose to seek you first. And in that, all the other things just fall away, and everything else comes into perfect order and alignment. You're an awesome, incredible God. We love you. We thank you for this time as we've gathered in one, as they all go their ways, they continue to walk in your ways, getting great revelation of deepened love of who you are within them. Your most precious name.
Yeshua, Abun Solo Otori And I just want to close with this comment. You all know that you have heard us say every single time that we must seek the presence of God first. And I've served so many people in different prayer calls and individual conversations and clients throughout my day that when I keep saying this, they still don't get the significance of it. That is the very first Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end to every single answer throughout creation is to seek God first. It's not just a thing that we repeat within Grace Healing. It is the truth of the very beginnings and the decisions we should make, because every single action we make, if we honestly sought God first, we would find we probably wouldn't do 80% or 90% of them. Yeah. So I just extend to you, please, search the name that is Yahweh's presence within, Yeshua's holy protection, and the life-giving breath that is the Abun within you, and then look upon all things of life, whether they are named as enemy or they are named as a different being, of a different species, of a different kind. May you look upon them in love, be blessed in your week, and filled to overflow with God's love. And even as Ina states, as you wake in your evenings, offer thanksgiving that you have that holy time to engage singularly with God's presence. If he uses you for the sake of another, he will return into your body greater sleep than ever. Yes. We trust, offer thanksgiving, praise, and worship. Amen.
Amen.